If you're a first-time home seller or it's been a while since you last sold a home, you probably have some questions in mind. Let's take a closer look at 10 of the most frequently asked questions by home sellers like yourself. My name is Andrew Finney, and my passion is helping you make sense of real estate. If you need help finding a top agent near you, or if you simply want to drop me a line to say hello, my contact info is below. If you're new here, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel now and like this video. Thank you. All right, my friend, there are so many different questions that come to mind, especially if you're a first-time home seller or even someone that has sold homes before, and it might have been a little while since the last time you sold one. But I had to really think about this and narrow it down to perhaps 10 of the most frequently asked questions, and I have, for reference, made a lot of other videos to help you along your way in learning how best to sell your home. So on that note, let's begin with the first frequently asked question, which is, do I really need a real estate agent after all? It's a good question. So when we're talking about that, I might be a little bit biased as a trusted real estate advisor, just being full disclosure here and just being honest, right? Technically, do you need to have a trusted real estate advisor or real estate agent working with you to sell your home? No. You can do what's called a for sale by owner. Now, there are pros and cons of this, like everything in life. Now, you know that you're very, very good at your job, more than likely. At least I hope that you're really good at your job. And when you're thinking about that, you have a specific skill set that has been honed for a period of time, for a period of years, and you have further developed yourself to become the very best at what you do. So if I went into your occupation right now and I said, hey, you know what? I'm going to do this too. I'm just going to go ahead and do it myself. How successful would I be if I was trying to operate on someone's brain and I didn't have any professional education, any practical experience? Would you want me to do it? Probably not. Same thing as if I was saying, hey, I'm gonna go be an attorney and I think I can do what these attorneys do and chase an ambulance down and sue somebody for it. Not to knock on attorneys or anything, there's so many different valuable services attorneys provide, but it's one of those things here in Las Vegas, Nevada, you can't drive down the freeway without seeing all these attorney signs, and normally talking about accidents here, accidents there, sue this, sue that, and it's like, it's just crazy. But anyways, getting back on topic here, the point is, could I realistically go in there and do that job as well as those gentlemen and ladies could? The answer is no. Why is that? Because they have honed their skills, they have honed their abilities, they have been trained, they have been educated, they know how to get the best results for their clients. So is true of a trusted real estate advisor that would be representing you in the sale of your home. But in short, do you have to have a real estate agent? No. Is it highly recommended? Absolutely, it's highly recommended. And to further back that up, the National Association of Realtors conducts a study every single year about the state of the American economy and the way that these transactions, demographics, age, and price brackets are breaking down on a statistical basis, right? Now, it is important to note that even though it is with the National Association of Realtors, this is objective with a clear mind and not taking any subjective point of view into this research. It's simply looking at closings, it's simply looking at numbers being reported, and that is it. So there's not any subjective bias in that report, which is a beautiful thing. It helps us guide us honestly. And what the National Association of Realtors market research study concludes is that those people that go out to sell their homes themselves, known as a for sale by owner, generally have extremely low odds of being successful. In fact, those odds generally look like 8% success odds. And of those that do succeed, they generally sell their home for anywhere between 7 to 12% on average less than they could have had they hired a professional real estate agent. It's one of those things that I like you to take the time and consideration to think through carefully to make the right decision for you. The second common question is, okay, Andrew, I get it. I need to get a real estate agent. I understand the wisdom of getting a trusted real estate advisor, but how do I get the right one? Well, how am I going to do this? I don't want to get saddled with this agent that's lazy. I don't want to get saddled with an agent that is not as passionate about it as other people in the industry. I want the very best, just like I am at my job, right? I'm referring to you here. Like I'm the very best at my job. I want the very best real estate agent to help me sell my home. That makes a lot of sense. Now, we have this really beautiful thing called technology and an internet. Now, with that, we have Google. And when we have Google, we can simply type in an agent's name. And what we want to do is we want to look specifically at their ratings, their reviews, and their past sales performance, and any professional credentials they may have. We want to check that agent's online exposure, because a lot of agents are going to say, hey, I'm going to market your home across the internet. I'm going to be able to get it exposed to as many buyers across the world as possible to find the right one that wants to buy your house, right? That's a good game, but here's the thing. If you can't find the agent when you Google them, isn't that a little bit of a problem? Because if an agent can't put themselves out there correctly, how are they going to expose your home correctly? I mean, let's just be honest. I'm not trying to beat up on other agents at all. That's not the purpose of this conversation. What the purpose of this conversation is to help you gain insight and clarity into finding the right agent for you. Real estate done correctly will advance our lives and advance our retirement position and our overall self net worth. Doing real estate incorrectly can set us back a decade, so we want to make sure we do it correctly. What I'm asking you to do is to Google the agent before you hire the agent. In specific, look at those ratings, those reviews, and those past sales performance. To give you an idea of a keyword research that you want to use is something like Andrew Finney Las Vegas, Andrew Finney Realtor Las Vegas, Andrew Finney Zillow Reviews, Andrew Finney Reviews. You get the idea here. It's pretty easy just to type my name in. I'm saying Andrew Finney and like Realtor because there's this really cool character on the Ray Donovan show on Showtime. His name is actually Andrew Finney too. So when Showtime has Ray Donovan in season, we're kind of jockeying for first page position in between all my exposure and all that marketing money that Showtime has that, let's face it, little Andrew Finney, the real estate agent over here, doesn't exactly have. Make sure that if you're going to Google me personally, that's how you do it. It'll work out extremely well, or even Andrew Finney YouTube. Now, that being said, what we want you to do is to replace my name in those keyword researches with those agents that you have in mind. Again, what are we focused on? We're focused on the ratings, the reviews, and past sales performance. We want to get to know that agent. And if they have videos like this one, or at least some kind of video out there, even better, because then you're gonna get to know that agent before you ever meet that agent. Pretty cool. That brings up the third frequently asked question, which is why is it important to have the right agent? As we mentioned a moment ago, having the right agent and doing real estate correctly does what? It sets us up for future success. It adds to our overall net worth over a period of time. Doing real estate incorrectly can cost us a lot of money and can set us back a decade or more if we're not careful. So when we're talking about the right agent that assists you, what are we looking for? Again, those ratings, those reviews, and those past sales performance. I think we've already identified that several times in this conversation already, how important that is. But the reason it's important to have the right agent working for you is, wouldn't you want somebody that is passionate about what they do? Just like you are with your job, more than likely the answer is yes. Don't you want that person that goes that extra mile, not because it's exactly like they intend to go the extra mile, but because it's in their DNA and it's who they are, because they want to deliver the best results for you in the least amount of time possible. And when you hear that, sometimes it sounds like a marketing cliche. Oh, the agent want to sell my house for top dollar in the least amount of time as possible. Okay, sounds kind of gimmicky, right? But here's the deal. And this is what I share with clients in real estate practice here in Las Vegas, Nevada. When you minimize your time on market, you're actually minimizing your pain. So when you minimize the pain and the time on market, you're actually maximizing your profit, because whenever you get your home sold in the least amount of time as possible, you're getting the most well-qualified buyers in the market right out of the gate. Those buyers right out of the gate that are going to be throwing down offers on your house are the ones that are generally coming in at the best price that you're going to see. The longer you're on the market, the more the need arises for price reductions. Hence, you'll be minimizing your profit if you maximize your time on market, which maximized your pain out, right? So what we want to do as a trusted real estate advisor, and the reason it's important to choose the right one, is they will know how to minimize the pain by minimizing the time on the market to maximize your profit and assist you getting into your next destination. Having the right real estate agent is somebody that is going to be performing for you the same way that you perform so well at what you do in the services or products that you provide. The fourth thing that comes up a lot is, what steps are you going to take to market my house? Do you even have a marketing plan of action? Now, a solid trusted real estate advisor is going to say, yeah, of course, this is what we do and this is how we do it, and here's a breakdown of what you can expect moving forward from me when you hire me to sell your house, right? So taking a look at a marketing plan of action, it could look something like, obviously we're going to get it on the multiple listing service, but before we do that, there are critical steps that need to be taken to prepare your home for the market. We only get one shot at a first impression. Working with the right agent, they're going to spend the time with you, whether that time is a week or whether that time is a year, to help you get your home ready to go on the market, depending on your goals and depending on the time frame you need to make this happen. Why so much preparation time? Because when we prepare your home to sell, we're going to be depersonalizing it, decluttering it. We're going to be making sure it looks right for that professional photographer to come in and do those marketing pictures. We all know that a picture's worth 1,000 words, right? So if we know that, shouldn't we get it right? Because when you're looking at homes right now, because let's face it, when you get ready to sell a home, you're probably getting ready to buy one, right? It's kind of natural. So whenever you're looking at homes out there and you see yesterday night's dinner in the picture, what are you thinking? Or when you see a house that's really cluttery, what are you thinking? You're probably thinking, that's nasty, I don't want to go there, yesterday night's dinner is still out, and they knew these pictures are going to be exposed to the entire world when they listed their home. Why would you do that, and why would the agent allow that, right? So then that brings us to the second point over here, where we're talking about what happens if it's really cluttery. Well, if you see a really cluttery home, even if the listing details say, this is like a 5,000 square foot home, it's massive, but all you can see is clutter and junk in the pictures, then you might be thinking there's a storage issue in this house, despite how big it is. So can't we get this right from the beginning? Yes. And when we're talking about the marketing strategy, it's the preparation phase. You know, Greek poet Archilochus once said that we don't rise to the level of our expectations, we fall to the level of our training. So when we're thinking about the level of our training, plug and play the word as you want, and you could even in this case say preparation, because that preparation is what primes everything going into sequence though at that marketing plan. We're playing Match.com with your house, and we gotta get this right from every step that we do. Obviously, the agent should be able to be easily found on the internet, because then you know your home is going to be truly exposed in as many places as possible on the internet. You want that agent that's going to also say, hey, you know what, this is the other thing we're going to do is put it out on our social media. If the agent isn't going to put it out on social media, we got a problem. If the agent's not going to put a sign in the yard, we have a problem. If the agent's not going to put flyers in your box, we have a problem. So you start seeing all these small details that go into the marketing plan of action, but then they up the ante. Okay, are you going to put any marketing spin into that Facebook marketing? Are you going to put any marketing spin into the Instagram marketing? Or what other steps are you going to take? Are you going to video the house? Do you want to YouTube the house? Do you want to do something with the house other than just the pictures? If so, tell me so I can get it ready for you and excite me in the process of selling your house, right? So you want to be crystal clear. Simply ask them for a marketing plan of action, and the Andrew Finney team, of course, we have one that we provide to all the sellers that we represent. So that being said, every other agent in the United States ought to have one, and if you're an agent right now watching this and you haven't put together your marketing plan of action for a seller, please do so right now. The fifth thing that you're going to want to know is, how are you going to determine the list price value for my home? Now, if we know that we can minimize the pain by maximizing the profit, we know this is going to have something to do with the price, right? So when we're taking a closer look at that, there are a lot of variables that a trusted real estate advisor will take into consideration, beginning with what makes the market tick, where TIC is an acronym, trends, indicators, and conditions. We need to know all of this as a trusted real estate advisor. It goes back to choosing the right agent to assist you with this, okay? So when we're taking a look at how much we need to price your home for the cause it to sell, we gotta be honest about the comparable sales in the area. We also have to take into consideration the condition of your home, along with any features, amenities, and benefits that you have. And of course, you know I got an acronym for that. What makes your house FAB, F-A-B, or that is now features, amenities, and benefits. We need to know what makes your house pop. What are those most salient selling features that could add value, and did it add value just because you did the project? In some cases, to be quite frank, the answer is no. Yet in a lot of cases, the answer could be yes. It just depends on the type of upgrades and improvements that you made and the way that you did them. Talk it over with your trusted real estate advisor to make sure that you're getting the right price for you. But understand this, it really does boil down to numbers at the end of the day and price per square feet, like in kind properties, single story to single story, two story to two story. Ideally, if the home has a pool, comping it against other homes that have a pool, gated communities, guard gated communities, location, all of that fun stuff come into play. I've made videos about what's a CMA and why you should care, and I've made a lot of other videos about understanding valuations versus comparables. Please check it out after this conversation. The sixth thing that comes up is, how much is it going to cost me to sell my house? And where can I get a list of these fees? Now, going back to that trusted real estate advisor, when you meet them on that listing presentation or listing consultation, if you will, they're going to come ready. They're going to have your comparative market analysis ready to go. They're going to have all your listing disclosures and listing contract ready to go. They're also going to come prepared with what's called an estimated net proceeds sheet, showing you the breakdown of the costs associated with selling your home so that you have an estimate of how much you should be able to walk away from the sale of your house. To give you a better idea of what these fees may be looking like, let's consider 9 that we can look at from a bird's eye perspective. The first one are the brokerage fees, also known as the real estate commissions. The second is seller concessions, if it applies. Consider like if you need to offer a buyer closing costs, that would be a form of a seller concession. The third is the title search. The fourth is an instrument survey. The fifth is a home warranty if applicable. By the way, I always highly recommend providing a home warranty to an incoming buyer. I believe it is a polite and right thing to do. They generally cost somewhere between like $550 to $1,000. Why not offer it? The sixth are the transfer taxes for your area. The seventh are any capital gain taxes as it may apply. Now, it is important important to note here, if this is the primary residence and you've lived in it for 2 of the most recent 5 years, then depending on what the tax code looks like in the year that you're selling your home, if that's the case, 2 of the most recent 5 years you've lived there as a primary residence, you're generally excluded from capital gains tax up to $250,000 as a single person, or if you're a married person, up to $500,000. The 8th are the cost of various repairs from the inspections as may be needed. And the 9th are existing mortgages, home equity loans, and of course if you have any liens or encumbrances against your property that have to be satisfied to provide free and clear title. The 7th thing that comes up a lot is, what should I do to prepare my home for the market? Now, we have highlighted several times in this conversation the different things that we want to do. Essentially, you can break it down to depersonalize, declutter, do a deep clean. So you're looking at the 3 Ds: depersonalize, declutter, and deep clean. That's a good premise for moving forward. Now, once you've done that, then we can take a look at what you have in your house for home staging. If we need to do any professional home staging, your trusted real estate advisor will let you know how that plays out and also have a conversation with you to see if that's something that you're open-minded to do. Now, working with your trusted real estate advisor anywhere from 1 month to 12 months in advance of selling your home is a really good idea. Doing so will help you get your house correctly positioned to put it in its best light possible to help you minimize that pain and maximize that profit. The 8th frequently asked question is, should I stage my house or should I have it vacant? Now, this is a really interesting thing because this is like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? It really comes down to this. It's 5 of one, 5 of another, meaning that to some buyers, they love to have it vacant so that they can visualize, and meaning that some buyers like to have it staged or have furniture in it so they can get a physical representation of space and how things look and flow. So what do we do at the end of the day? We do whatever the situation provides with what you have, following the wisdom and insights of your trusted real estate advisor about what works best in your area. The 9th question that comes up a lot is, how long is it going to take to sell my home? And that's a really good question. So when we're looking at that comparative market analysis that your trusted real estate advisor presented to you during the listing consultation time, they should have also identified the average days on market for not only your city, not only your zip code, but actually for your subdivision as well, and the like and kind properties that are selling that are just like yours in the overall general area, right? When we take that, we can average out those numbers and come up with a fair estimate of how long it should take to sell them. We can also look at the ones that sold quicker than others and identify why. Now, the ones that didn't sell as quick, we can also identify why. Now, this really breaks down into a few different key points that we're going to pop on the screen and help you identify. The first one being the current state of the real estate market. Are you in a seller's market, a buyer's market, or a stabilized market? The second is your listing price strategy. Did you want to try to leave room for negotiations by being high, when at the end of the day, in reality, all you've done is help sell your neighbor's house, and you're going to have to go down and down and down and chase the market backwards? All the same, listing price strategy, critically important there. The third is the real estate marketing strategies that were used to market your home and get it sold. The fourth are the number of inspection contingencies that arise in the purchase offer itself. The fifth are the buyer's mortgage approval process and how that's moving along. Did the buyers make a bonehead mistake and decide they're going to apply for new credit in the middle of the closing process? That is a potential deal killer and is something, unfortunately, we as listing agents and you as a seller have no control over. All the same, how's it working and are they on track? That's something that your listing agent can be discussing with the buyer agent and that loan officer to ensure everything is moving correctly through the closing process. The sixth is the closing document review process by the title company, or if you're in a real estate attorney state, whatever process and time frame that the real estate attorney needs to review all the documentation for the purpose of the document review process. And the 10th thing that comes up a lot is, what should I avoid when I'm on the market? That's a really good question, and I'm glad that you're bringing it and thinking about that right now. What you should avoid is having a closed mind. What you should avoid is limiting your trusted real estate advisor from doing their job. Now, what I'm talking about in specific is if you're a prospective seller and you're like, I don't want to sign in my yard, I don't want a lockbox on my house, I don't want to accommodate showings, then why are you going on the market? How are we going to expose your house? How are we going to get the showings in there? How are we going to get the well-qualified buyers in there? If you're not going to permit the showings to begin with, what are we even doing having this conversation? That's a real conversation. And if you're just saying, hey, I just want to put my home on the market and see if somebody pay what I was asking, okay, fine. Do your thing, do yourself a favor and do it as a for sale by owner, because let's not waste anyone's time. When it comes time to get ready to sell a house and you're serious about selling a house, let's unrestrict your trusted real estate advisor to expose the house to as many prospective buyers as possible so we can help you minimize that pain and maximize that profit. So with that in mind, let's talk about the 8 steps to sell your house and what you should disclose to home buyers. Looking forward to our next conversation. We'll see you in a few.